Hello, everybody. Welcome to an exclusive edition of a missionary moment with my lovely and beautiful wife, Rachel.
Hello, everybody.
So we're decided to do something a little bit different this time. I wanted to be able to share and open up with some people on a topic that we've been getting asked about a little bit more recently, and that is, what's it like being married and full-time missionaries on a college campus? And so we've got like top 5 questions that we're just going to go through and talk about. And here we go. So the first one comes in from Blaine from South Dakota, rather. And he asks, what is some of the best parts of being on mission as a married couple? Ladies first.
All right. So one of the best parts of being married on mission, I would say, sharing, being able to share marriage and family with students, because they're just at such an influential part of their lives that they think it's amazing that we're married and we have kids, and they're like, wow, I want to be there one day, someday soon, hopefully. So that's huge. That's so fun. Students love just coming over and hanging out and sharing in our family with us and in our marriage and asking us questions. So I think that'd be one of my favorite parts, like being married on mission.
Right. Right, I would completely agree. I think my top 2 in thinking about it would be being able to share family with the students. It's precisely it. Many of them are away from home, and so we're able to give them a home away from home. So very frequently we invite them over for dinner or lunch, and Rachel makes all sorts of delicious food for them. So that's one reason they like it. But the other one being just being able to live as a young family in a culture that is at times opposed to family, sometimes in pretty direct ways. It's a beautiful thing to be able to do, and it's a very captivating thing for them. It honestly surprises me a little bit how many questions I get and how many questions Rachel gets. Just earlier today, I believe, she had a student from her Bible study who sought her out and wanted to get some relationship advice.
Yes.
And so that would be the first thing. And then the second thing, just for us personally, there's so many opportunities to be generous with our time. And at first I was really hesitant about this. What's it going to be like being married and being on mission, full-time missionary, working with people's schedules, sometimes being away. But it's been a great opportunity for generosity for the both of us, stretching our time and our convenience a little bit. But we've been able to find a balance. We've got a weekly date night that doesn't go anywhere. I tell my guys, the worst thing in the world could happen, but if it's Tuesday night, don't call me after 5 p.m. because I'm going to be hanging out with Rachel. So those would be some of my favorite things as well. The second question comes in from Troy from La Crosse, and he says, what are the biggest challenges of being on mission?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of mentioned that a little bit with the prior question, as far as it's been a huge stretch of generosity with our time. So when we first got on mission, went on mission last year, it was really trying to figure out how do we give our kids everything they need, the family time they need, well, Benedict at that time, but how do we balance family life with our relationship, so going on dates, spending time together, intentional time together, which is a very important word we've come to find out on mission, is actually setting aside intentional time, and then also, of course, all the time we spend with students and being available to them. So that's been most challenging, figuring that out, but praise God, we've been really able to master that. Some weeks it's like, oh, what's happening?
Right.
But a lot of weeks we've been able to find that, as I like to say, organized chaos of time. So it's always unpredictable, but it's balanced now. We get the time that we need together and lots of time with students.
Right, yeah, so it is, any given week it's going to be quite chaotic because it's a lot of people, it's a lot of different things, a lot of running around. But it certainly has been possible to acquire a disposition of peace, personal interior peace as individuals, spouses, but also just as family. And do something long enough, it just becomes the new normal, and that's really happened. And I think the two biggest words, Rachel mentioned one of them, in our relationship as far as communication goes with the busyness is A, intentional, are we being intentional, and B, how can I cherish you more? Are you feeling cherished as my spouse right now? I have to ask that frequently, right? Because there's some times where there's I could easily spend 3 nights away from home, and then I have to stop and think, is mission at the service of my first and vocational mission, which is being married to Rachel, raising our kids, and it's the greatest joy of my life. And so just making sure those things are aligned has been key. Evan says from Dubuque, what's it like having little kids on campus and raising a family on campus?
It's awesome. What's it like? It's kind of hectic. Benedict, being our almost 2-year-old, loves students, loves the attention. So he's trying to go to our door all the time, and now he can open it. So he'll just sprint down the hallway because he wants to go see people that are in the building. So thankfully we have the lock that's taller than him still. But he, what's the question again?
It's what's it like having kids on campus?
Yeah, it's great. It's Benedict, again, they love the people, they love the attention, and the students love it. So it's almost like kids are meant to be on campus in a way. They just bring a whole new dynamic to it that you wouldn't have without kids at all. So that's what it's kind of like having kids. What would you say, Johnny?
Yeah, I would agree. There's too many funny stories, and we'll get to that last, as far as having them on campus and interactions and things like that. But it's, on a deeper level, it's been extremely insightful for the students to be able to, we mentioned earlier, sharing family life. Part and parcel to that is them being able to see kids. What's it like to be able to, for me, be a dad, for Rachel to be a mom, and it's a great blessing for us to be able to do this and to be able to share our children with them. Mm-hmm. And again, they love it, the students love it, it's a big hit, really. We joke all the time that the best evangelists and missionaries on campus are not, in fact, the Focus missionaries. It's Benedict and Avila. It's being able to win people's heart before even asking them any questions. It's students walking into the dining hall and seeing little 3-month-old Avila, and they're just automatically drawn to her.
Mm-hmm. And it's cool too, because it's like once you have a baby in your hands, like I go from Rachel, and now I'm Rachel with a baby in my hands. You're so much more approachable. Like so many people come up to you and they talk to you.
You can talk about anything as long as there's a baby there.
Yeah, so
it's amazing.
Great for evangelization, as John pointed out.
Right. So the final question comes from Adam in Florida, and he said, what are some funny stories of being married on campus or having kids on campus?
Yeah, the first one that I think of is, we go to daily mass here on campus each day. So we were at one of our daily masses, and Benedict's just started using his words more, and he's starting to talk a lot more. So he likes
without an inside voice.
Yeah, without an inside voice.
He's either on or off.
So, especially when he hears other little kids, so like either copy what they say or say something back to them. So you're in mass, and there was this other family in mass, and the other kid's getting, a little restless in mass, and he's making some sounds and going like, ah, and then Benedict's copying him, going, ah, right back, and they do that for a few exchanges, and then the final time, the little boy is like really upset, and he starts crying, and John and I both look at Benedict, and he's quiet for a little bit, and then he starts crying, and you just hear like students around us trying to keep it together because Benedict's mimicking this kid crying. But that was pretty funny. I had to had to refocus myself towards the Mass again.
It elicited a lot of chuckles from the
Yes.
people behind us.
Yeah, I actually, the other day, I was just walking past some students and I heard them talking about that one event when Benedict, at a Newman dinner, they were talking about it. So even now, a few months later, some students are still laughing about it. So that's pretty great.
That's true. Yeah. One of the first stories that comes to mind for me is recently we were in a room. Rachel and I were in a room. We're talking, praying a little bit, and Benedict walked up, and we were talking about prayer, and just we were talking about just inviting Jesus into our lives more. I believe just on kind of like a basic level, and Benedict knocks on the door. His little, very soft knuckles. He knocks. He said, "Who is it?" And he says, "Jesus." Which was impeccably timed, given the conversation that Rachel and I were just having. So we laughed heartily about that. But it's amazing just the joy of children, the joy they bring to our lives and to the students' lives, and it's a blessing to just be able to participate in that and to have our own family within the broader family of God.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, friends, that's all we have for this session. Let us know if you have any thoughts. Honestly, if you want us to do anything else, any other ideas you have of different topics or students that you want us to talk to, different things you'd like us to ask them, just leave in the comments below. That'd be great. If you want to hit the subscribe button, I would suggest it, but I don't want to turn into one of those people that are like, oh, subscribe. It's up to you. Free will.
Yeah, or if you have any ideas for future videos that you'd want John to post topics about or anything.
Sounds good.
That'd be good too.
All right, well, from the shackles to you, hi. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for joining us for Missionary Moment.